This video offers a brief overview of the Rialto apartment site, with the hope of supporting a quick and safe resolution of the foundation settlement issues so residents and nearby businesses can return to normal as soon as possible. Viewers will see the authoritative 1890 Orange County survey map fade into the modern aerial, then into the 1939 aerial imagery, which is not generally available to the public, and finally into the 1954 USGS 7.5-minute quadrangle map showing the original land topography and the 100-foot elevation contour, a known sinkhole contour in this area. As a reminder, when the 1890 map appears, today's Spring Lake was labeled Little Sand Lake in 1890, because what we now call Big Sand Lake had not yet been berm separated to create a new Little Sand Lake. So you are in fact looking at the correct lake. This video is intended to assist engineers and investigators by highlighting a land history that is not obvious to a casual observer, and to provide clear historical context that may help inform their assessment and repair decisions. Part of the animation shows the land surface elevations animating up and down at half-inch increments. That is correct. Half of an inch, not half of a foot. Land surface elevations around Spring Lake rise to elevations above 175 feet about sea level and plunge down almost 90 feet to the edge of the lake. The Rialto is in the absolute lowest spot. This area is on the Mount Dora Ridge, which extends into the Dr. Phillips area of southwest Orange County. These lakes are the eastern cousins of the Butler chain of lakes, which are on the west side of the ridge. All lakes want to stabilize at elevation 100 feet above sea level for geological rheons. This part of the video shows the original pond area, which was later filled in by about 10 feet, and the building is now constructed over that filled ground on the east side. In other words, on that side the building is sitting on man-placed fill where there used to be a pond. We can see that the upper floors of the building have more cracking than the lower floors, which is the kind of damage pattern that can occur when the ground under a building settles unevenly and causes the structure to slowly tilt or rotate rather than move straight down. That uneven movement is called differential settlement, and it can have a number of possible causes, including issues with the fill, natural soils, drainage, or other site conditions. At this stage, the video evidence shows a pattern of damage that is consistent with differential settlement, but a detailed geotechnical and structural investigation would be required to determine the exact root cause or causes.